This presentation will show you how to make an inexpensive portrait studio that rivals even a high dollar portrait studio. In fact, there are some photographers that just have windows or glass block windows, diffuser windows built into their studios because they like window lights so much. So we get professional looks, we save a lot of money, and you don't have to lug around a whole bunch of stuff. They're also very flattering to the subject. And this is an example. May not be perfect, but it illustrates the type of picture that you can get from a good window light portrait. So we're going to take a look at a floor plan. Sometimes when we have in-person classes, we get out our scissors and we cut things and paste things, and it helps, but you're going to learn it from watching. So a floor plan is going to be like your observer on a ceiling in a photo studio, and you're looking straight down at the floor. And online or in books, you'll see lights and you'll see the camera and you'll see the subject. This is not my invention by any means. This is something that's been around for a long time. Uses symbols, shows where things are supposed to be. And it's sometimes called a lighting diagram. So in your house, I'd like you to start thinking, because we're going to be using a room in your house. What room can you darken and still have a window open, meaning bright? So we've sketched out our little room here, and we can see that we have outside and inside. So with your window light, you're going to use sunlight as your primary, your key light or your main light. If possible, and this would just be ideal, that the room that you have has a north-facing window. Soft, diffused light does not need any filtering. If you have an east, a west, or a south face, then you can use a diffusing device to do that. So we have the sun outside of our window. And our window is going to be over here. Our sunlight's going to be outside. But if you have an east or west facing window, direct sunlight coming into your room, then you need to be able to soften that light. We want to have soft wraparound light for your portrait. An old shower curtain, frosted. I've also used like the garbage bags, fairly large plastic garbage bags, painter's drop cloth. You can even do it with a dry cleaning bag. That will soften up the light coming in the window as well. Called a diffuser. And it's going to hang up right next to, on the inside of the window. Now your subject is going to probably be seated. A stool is nice because if you shoot on a tripod, it's nice to have people at a little bit of an elevation. So the sitter's nose is not going to be pointed straight at the lens of the camera, and it's not going to be pointed out the window. So what we want is this is the viewer's head right here, and this is their nose, okay? And we want the nose pointing. This will be the camera. We want the nose pointing over here, and you can give your subject something to look at. You can put a sticker on the wall and say, look at that. So the camera should be pointing at the subject's left eye, and you're going to focus on that eye. You can try autofocus, but sometimes it's even better to use manual focus. You want the camera to be aimed parallel to the wall that the window is in. We do not want you to include the window in your picture. We just want the light from the window. So we have the camera and it is parallel to the wall with the window in it. Now the background, we don't want to have a busy background. So you can hang a backdrop about 3 feet behind the subject. You don't want to have the shadow of the subject on the background. Should be neutral. If you have a brown or a blue tablecloth, beach towel, it has to be fairly good size. That'll work. Try not to have edges of the background show. So somehow you're going to figure out a way to put a background, and you may even have to have an assistant. Hello, assistant. And the assistant may have to hold up the background for you. So if you want to, this is not required, you can cut a piece of cardboard that maybe is 2 feet by 3 feet and cover it with aluminum foil, but wrinkle it up first, wrinkle up the foil, and then kind of smooth it out and either glue it down or tape it down to the edges. And we can use that as a bounce board to help direct the light onto the face. And this foil reflector can be mounted to the window frame. Get some blue tape or something like that and stick the foil reflector here so that sometimes the light's going to come in and then it's going to go in this direction, and some of the light's going to go in and go this direction. So that's what the reflector's for. Now it's really nice. You can do this in Photoshop or you can do this in Snapseed later, but it's really nice to have a darker background. And in the business, they call this a flag, and it makes shadows. Cardboard, black foam core, and it is going to be on the other side of the window. And it's not a reflector. This is creating shade so that the background does not receive bright light. Now, when you have the 3/4 pose and you're able to see two eyes. Yes, yes, yes. You want to see two eyes. You want to see the nose, but you only want to see one ear. Okay. And the ear that is facing the camera is going to be in the shadow. Cameras tend to make shadows look darker. So what you're going to do is you're going to get a white cardboard, a white towel, and hang it to the opposite side, close in to the subject, but not in the picture. So that's an approximate right there of what a white towel or a white piece of cardboard could be. So this is our sample. You want to light all of the planes of the face. You want to light the forehead. You definitely want to have light in this part of the face. You want to have a triangle of light underneath this eye, but you do want to have light. This picture is not quite perfect. You do want to have light in this eye as well, and you want to have light on the mouth and the chin. This ear over here is hidden from the camera. So this ear underneath the hair, this whole side of the head is in shadow, which is good, but you don't want it to be so dark that it, like in this case, I think we're a little dark because I'm missing the texture of the hair. So what we want to do there is we want to put ourselves a bounce board over here on this side and try and get some of that window light and lighten this up. So in terms of a studio, this over here, the window, would become what's called a soft box, or it would become something called a main light or a key light. This over here is the bounce board, or what's called the fill light. Okay, fill light. And then in the background, we have it neutral. We don't have any distractions, and it's kind of dark. So light areas attract attention. We are vignetting down here in the corners. We're letting the face be the lightest thing in the picture. So good luck on your window light shots.